Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Cleveland, Ohio, I give you BVO.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BVO.
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon everyday earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound, with active noise cancellation to block out distractions and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com and elevate your listening experience.
Your guy B3 Picks here, at it again. Proud to announce a brand new partnership with BVO Sports TV and B3BoxingPicks.com. Let's go green. At B3BoxingPicks.com, we provide pre-fight boxing picks of the week, but also live boxing betting options so we can make money pre-fight or during the fight betting on the beautiful sport of boxing. Join now, only $10 a week or $25 a month by visiting B3BoxingPicks.com for the membership. Also follow me on all socials at B3 Boxing Picks. Follow my YouTube, Not Another Boxing channel, presented by B3 Picks. And shout out to the People's Network, the one and only Sports Talk Network. Let's go green.
My bad, my bad. It's your boy BBO Sports TV. Salute to the mighty Sports Talk Network. We in the house. And definitely, man, salute to my brother D Free, always in the house, showing love early. But we got with a good conversation today. I think this is a good conversation because we don't necessarily always have these conversations, but basically talking about what success means to you and how to get to that success that you want to be in. And getting it from some young guys, man, who's trying to make their way in life and trying to figure it out each day. Because one thing I've learned, especially in life, man, you got to kind of take everything that happens as a lesson learned. Suit my brother Marky Dan, suit my man Bentley. And I think one of the biggest things I've learned is you really can't take anything personal. A lot of things you will hear, you'll feel like something slighted you or someone went out their way to kind of go after you in a certain way, and you be like, "Oh, I feel this and that way about it." But I've learned you can't have no feelings. You guys be like, you know what? Okay, and move on to the next thing. Because I'm telling you, the biggest mistake a lot of us make is trying to rectify a situation that doesn't need to be rectified, or you catch us trying to do something that we normally wouldn't do to try to please somebody. And I think you just kind of learn over time you can't please anybody because there's nobody to please outside of God and your parents. There's really nobody to please. I mean, I had a good friend of mine. This brother was ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. He was polished, smart guy, kind of spoke really well, and I've seen him just go from being that to literally now the man is a dope head walking up and down the street. And you say, man, why would you say that, BBO? I say that because it's so important to watch what you say, watch what you do, because you can be in one spot and you can trade places and be in another spot. Me, I'll personally say I was super blessed because it could have went a different way for me, but I was very motivated and very I don't know. I just had that. I was very observant, and I kind of understood that if you do certain things, it brings you certain results. So I would do everything I could to stay away from certain things to get better results. But speaking about this brother, I'm telling you, so he's working at a furniture store, doing this thing. Became, he was a salesman, then became a manager. So one day, I'm going too fast. But anyway, so most people who know about management, you make bank deposits. So he had been making bank deposits for a long time. Fast forward the story, he ended up. It was they had a big turnout. Big money kind of came into the store that night. So the deposit was tens of thousands, and it was a little more than he probably had seen. So this man had a really bad habit he had picked up and took the whole money and spent it. And of course, they prosecuted him. And one thing I've learned is that you can't get mad at civilians if they prosecute you for you doing the wrong thing. Just the embarrassment of getting in trouble has kept me from ever doing anything because I don't want no smut, no goofy stuff on my name. Um, but make a long story longer, the buddy of mine ended up going to jail. I think he did a short stint in prison. And it's so crazy because he stole that money. He ended up getting put in prison. Then he comes out of prison and his mind is not the same. He doesn't even come across as that same person that I once knew. And for me, when you know people as a child and you can't recognize them, the things that you liked about them when you were kids, you can't recognize it in them anymore, something's usually wrong. And in this case, this brother, man, has started messing with drugs so much that he changed. And you say, why are you bringing this story up, BBO? It's because I've seen guys literally be ahead of the game and come all the way back and be behind the game and be under the table, sleep. And I think the hard part about it all is when you saying these things out loud, it shocks certain people. But I'm telling you, too many times in life, people don't have any guidance or understand what they should and shouldn't be doing. You got guys like Gillian Wallow who give good advice. I would definitely say they give good advice. But when you're growing up with no parents, I mean, it's a strong chance you can be a loser. It's a strong chance, man. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, man. Salute to my man Big Dog Willie Bentley pulling up. Appreciate you, brothers. And I just can say for me watching this, it's so sad how many guys I've seen throw their life away just off not having proper guidance or having a basic understanding of what's really important. Um, and you say, well, it's common sense. Well, common sense isn't for everybody because everybody doesn't have anybody with common sense around. You'd be surprised, man. I say this jokingly, but a lot of dudes can't read and write. I mean, there's a lot of people to count to 20. They can barely do it. It's people who can't do basic math that are adults that can't do basic math. I'm talking about 5 plus 5, 5 plus 10, 2 plus 10, 1 plus 1. And I've seen it so many times where you will see a guy or you see a young lady. It's not so pronounced with young women because when a woman is beautiful or she's kind, there's always somebody who will give her a break. But no one cares about men. So when a man is slipping or he doesn't have certain things together, if he doesn't have a good woman to protect him or to hide that from people, then you'll know. Because one thing that I did hear that's very true, you can hear what kind of man somebody is by who their woman is. And their woman will let you know if they pump faking or they for real. I'm gonna read a couple comments. Uh, my man Bentley said, I've seen it happen in front of my face. Work hard to put on your family, everything. He touches turners to gold. Then drugs got the best of him, turned him around and lost it all. Salute to Miss Wise. He said God can bless you with everything, also take it away quicker. Salute to Wise Sports Betting. In society, though, they don't give a flying F about a man's feelings. In life, they don't care about a man's feelings. In life, um, as I've just kind of grown to understand, especially in the corporate world, everybody's watching you. Everybody has an opinion on what you're doing, and everybody seems to want to come at you or talk bad about you. It's always that dynamic. Always that dynamic. Um, and it's sad because a lot of people don't understand in society, no one cares. I mean, Troy Ave had a song because nobody cares. It's the truth. It's the truth. No one cares if you're successful. No one cares if you do well in life. You really got to have an invested interest in yourself, because if you don't, you're doomed to be a loser, to be a lame, to be one of those guys who just can't do anything that they want to do, can't take a trip. What I call them $20 niggas. Excuse my language. But those niggas who $20 is a lot of money to them. You don't ever in your life want to be a $20 nigga, man. Where if you lose $20, it means something to you. A grown man should be able to lose a couple bucks and it not mean the world to him. But I've met so many guys, grown men that are $20 niggas who, if you said, let's put some money to a pot, they could never put the money to the pot. They always got to lie about what they have, and they always pump faking. And I'll tell you this, I've gotten to the place where I don't even like to deal with people who even do that. Because life is not worth you hanging out with these losers. I mean, say that's an 80s word or if you want, but man, so many cats in general are losers, man. Especially, and I'm speaking about the black community. It'd be so many people that want to give you they thoughts on something. They want to tell you how something should go, but they ain't never did nothing, never went nowhere, don't have a passport, don't make no real cheese. And it's like, what can you ever tell me? Or if you have a woman who's never been married or hasn't been married for any length of time, want to try to tell a man or a woman who is married how to live and how to do things. It's laughable. And I'm telling you, so many times it's very important that people understand how to be self-aware. Being self-aware is so important to anybody that wants to be successful. Give you a prime example. BVO wants to do certain things in front of the camera, behind the camera as well. And I kind of came to the realization I got to do things, approach things a certain way. And I'm going to do that. And I'm telling you, too many times in life, man, you will hear cats give you bad information, bad advice on what to do, what they would do, and they never did nothing. Who cares what to do who's never done nothing? It is what it is. He said they'd be like in elementary school, teacher teaching college courses. And it's like, that's a good example. You'd be surprised how many dudes are brain dead. Can't read, can't write, can barely write their name in cursive, can't carry a decent conversation. And it's like, who raised you, man? Who made you like this? And even if you were raised like this, because I'll be honest, my parents were not very intellectual people, but I understood, hey, if I want to get somewhere, I want to be somebody, hey, I got to put the work in. And BBO read those books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. And I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination. I'm doing better than most because I got a good family unit and I understood the power of having good people in your corner. When people get married or they have a spouse, the whole reason to have that is so you can have somebody who's invested in you winning. And the cool thing about it is when you do win and you got a great family, that's the reward. But I'm telling you, so many guys get caught up in the dumbest things, and you be like, yo, did you use your brain? Or Are you slow? Something wrong with you? What's your problem? Because I'm telling you, it's just so many idiots in the game, and you never get any real information. You got so many so-called OGs who got cheat codes or got relationships that you don't have, or got the cachet you don't have, that say, "Oh, it worked for me." Well, clown nigga, didn't work for me because I don't have the same cachet as you, or I don't know the same amount of people as you. Because for me, speaking for me, BVO, being from the projects, the hood within the hood, you don't know nobody, and everybody got an opinion about what you're doing or what your parents, lack thereof, is doing. And then don't have a group of young parents who really can't help you do anything because they don't know anything. And that's the very dilemma a lot of people go through. Trying to navigate these rocky waters is not very easy, and it's hard to do at times because you want to go a certain way or you want to move a certain way, and you can't because you don't have the knowledge or the requisite skills to get there. And that's a doggone shame. There's nothing worse than not knowing how to get where you want to go. And you got the desire, you got the will, you got the heart to do it. And you'll be surprised, man. People really do celebrate your failures. And you got to understand that. You got to understand that and be okay with that. And if you make mistakes at times, those mistakes will define you for a short time. Not forever, but for a short time, those mistakes will define you. So that's the one thing a lot of cats got to understand. There is no, I'm a, oh, forget about this, I'm going to forget about that. If it happened, it happened. And it's that simple, man. Um, That's what I mean when I say it's so important to have good people around you, because I'm telling you, man, niggas will really watch you do horrible and won't even tell you that you're doing horrible. And you be like, I thought you were my friend. No, that's not your friend. As my daddy would say, y'all just happen to grow, y'all two niggas who happen to grow up in the same poor neighborhood. That's not your friend. Are you an idiot? And I would say, man, dad, that's harsh. But the nigga was right. He was right. A lot of people ain't your friend. A lot of people ain't there to help you do well. A lot of people don't want to see you do well. A lot of people hate that you got a smile on your face. I remember, man, I had a cat doing some work at my house, and he was like, I got like I had somebody who was an extreme coupon. I bought a lot of fabric softener from him. Fabric softener, a bunch of detergent. And the person said, dang, man, how come you got all these soaps? I wish I had all them soaps. And you know what's so crazy? If the brother was in need, I would have gladly gave him as many as he needed to put to where he wouldn't be in need. But because he chose to be a hating clown, I sent him out of here. And it's so sad that people, whether complain about their circumstances other than ask for help. If you need help, I'm here to help. Because one thing I will say, whether you realize it or not, we in this thing. Whether we in this thing together is a different question, but we in this thing. And I think it's so important, like when you are in this thing, that we in this thing together. My brother said, I never understood that. Why don't you want to see God's people prosper? I have no idea. Give you another example. I was in the store. Brother was blind. He buying something small, like some paper clips or something stupid. The lady is brain dead behind the doggone counter. The man's blind. Help him figure out where to put his card so he can get the card and go. Couldn't do it. I seen whatever he got was no money. I'm like, this old brain dead lady, and I was at Family Dollar, so I mean, hey, it is what it is. A lot of people that work at Family Dollar are brain dead. So I end up saying, hey, I'll just pay for it. So I paid for it. He said, I got money. I said, brother, we in this together. It don't matter if you got money or you don't. And some older lady was like, that was nice of you. But you know what's so funny? I was a little upset. Like, mind your business. Ain't nobody looking for your validation on what I did. I did it unto God. And if you do things unto God, you get a reward. And you know what the reward was for me? Was it felt good that my brother didn't have to struggle and deal with this brain dead lady behind the doggone register who was just watching him struggle. I just thought to myself, like, man, like, where did you come from? What rock or what hole did you crawl out of that you can't see that the man is blind? Help the brother out. And that's what it is. What it is no one wants to help anybody. Everybody wants to talk crazy. Everybody wants to put somebody down. And it's like, yo, you dog, help me get this right. Salute to my brother Picasso. Salute to my big brother Thomas Hill, the chairman in the house. Happy Father's Day, Picasso. And I just to say this, man, it just always blows my mind how there is such a lack of care for people, and then people be mad as a rattlesnake when you don't care about them. It's like, yo, who have you ever cared about? Who have you ever showed compassion to? And it just blows my mind because I'm telling you, and I heard this on the end of a Drake song. We're in this thing, man, and we got to be in this thing together. And I'm telling you, something as small as seeing that brain dead lady do that, just let me know, like, you know what, it's very important. Whatever I can do to help or assist somebody, I want to do. And I used to say this all the time, and people used to laugh at me when I said this. I used to read a scripture, and the scripture basically talked about how Jesus walked in and the disciples were kind of going back and forth saying who was the greatest among them. You know, John could have said, hey, I'm Jesus' best friend. Peter could have said, hey, God revealed himself to me first. He could have, everybody had their little claim to what they could have said or why they were Jesus' favorite or who was the greatest among them. And Jesus said, the greatest among you is the one. And he said, why? Because for a very long time, BBO thought, I'm going to help as many people as I can, and God is going to bless me. But what I've learned, not only helping as many people as you can, but really doing it in a right spirit goes a long way. Goes a long way. My man, Picasso Thomas Hill, the man who needs no introduction. He didn't need shoes. He just walks on air when he comes through. So to my man, Thomas Hill, the chairman. And I just say this, man, the biggest thing I learned is that you can't take things personal. And you're going to run into so many people who can't read and write. And when I say can't read and write, I mean they don't got the sense God gave a dog. It's just, and it is what it is. Some people live, and you know, I'm be honest, but some of us that grew up in, you almost are shocked at how brain dead and stupid cats are, or how dumb or ridiculous some people can be. I actually seen a lady get mad at a lady at the register because she wanted, I guess, change for 100, and she wanted to change a certain way. The lady didn't get to it a certain way because the lady didn't know that her a certain way. And this brain dead lady was cussing this lady out like, blah, 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 I'm a blah, 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 get my stuff, you not gonna do. You got mad because your brain dead and didn't tell her what you needed? So she should have just went inside your mom, like Dr. Xavier, and the help. You talk to some of these guys my age, 35, 36, 40, they dumb as they come. Can't right, don't take care of nothing, don't have a mortgage, don't know how to cut grass, can't change a light bulb, can't change a AC outlet. It's just sometimes. Because I'm telling you, it's so important. It's so important. He said it's breaking up. If y'all can hear me, man, put a 2 on the chat. Put a 2 on the chat if y'all can hear me. I don't know if I'm breaking. I can't. So many times I'm telling you, man, it be people that you come into contact with, and you almost feel like you an alien. Helping, he said, see me. It's real. Second, let me fix it. My man Billy said I got a two. Send me a mic. Don't talk about me like a dog, man. Send me a mic then. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 2 sounds like you fanning. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna play a commercial while I run and get my headphones. Y'all stay right there. 1 second.
You got B3 Picks here at it again. Proud to announce a brand new partnership with BVO Sports TV and B3BoxingPicks.com. Let's go green. At B3BoxingPicks.com, we provide pre-fight boxing picks of the week, but also live boxing betting options so we can make money pre-fight or during the fight betting on the beautiful sport of boxing. Join now, only $10 a week or $25 a month by visiting B3BoxingPicks.com for the membership. Also follow me on all socials at B3 Boxing Picks. Follow my YouTube, Not Another Boxing channel, presented by B3 Picks. And shout out to the People's Network, the one and only Sports Talk Network. Let's go green.
Yo, hold on 1 second. Okay. Yo, let me know if y'all can hear me. Test, test, test. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Salute to my brother Sheldon in the house. Put a 2 in the chat if you hear your boy BBO. Salute to my cousin Bruce. Happy Father's Day, baby boy. Happy Father's Day, Sheldon. But back to what I was saying, it's just so funny in life. People always want to give you the bad news. They want to talk crazy. Okay, I'm good. Thank you. And I just think it's so funny because it's like most black people grow up with very, very kind parents. Very kind grandma, very kind granddaddy be wet. Granddaddy be rough. He be rough, but grandma's so sweet. No matter where you at, man. He said 80, hey, we dropping a commercial for the league this week. Okay, cool. It's just so funny because one thing for me, I don't know if you guys ever do this. You know, in life, you will kind of talk a lot rougher than you want to. And you be thinking like, dang, I said that rough. But people don't take it like that. Something as simple as like when I was growing up, I never said what when someone asked me a question. I always said yes. Or how can I help? Never what. And that's what it is, man. Oh, salute to my man Tommy, still talking crazy as usual, man. Salute to this brother, man. He a real good $5 nigga, man, talking crazy as usual, man. Salute to my brother 88 Sports. But I'll say this. The part that's so funny about everything is that when you're growing up, man, you really grow up with a kind parent, and you almost feel bad when you don't keep that going. And I know a lot of times in life for me, I felt like I was saying something rough or I shouldn't have been saying it that way. But that's what it is, man. And I just think so many times in life, man, you kind of gotta unlearn what you were taught. And one thing I can say, for me, I've learned that people live wild, rough, crazy. And you would think like you and Maury or Jerry Springer, some of the stuff you hear, and it'd be like, am I the only one that's normal? I don't know if I'm the only one that ever felt like that. When people talk about some of these stories, what they done been through, what they done seen, you'd be like, dang, that was a movie. I mean, for me, all the trouble BVO ever got into was because BVO was determined not to let niggas dominate me. You're not going to impose your will on me. You're not going to talk to me crazy. I'm going to do whatever to let you know I will hurt you before you do anything to me. Prime example. I remember as a youngster, man, we used to catch the free bus home. So these dudes in the back, man, on the free bus. The free bus take you halfway home. The free bus drop you off like in the middle of this field. So we on the free bus. You got to be a gladiator to get on the free bus anyway. No punks on the free bus because you'll get hit in your mouth on the free bus. Because the free bus is how it goes, where the driver could care less. He gonna drive off. It's a city bus, like a city bus that's dropping you off, but it comes up to the school, but it just drops you off at a certain area. And the part I always laughed about that is you learn so many times. He said, of course, it was intimidating. Oh yeah. You learn so many times that when you growing up, that people be thinking they can do what they want until you just let them know they can't. I remember we was getting off the free bus. The dude was like, "Oh, BB, I like your jacket." I had a platinum FUBU jacket on. This is like during the Fat Albert time. I don't know if you guys remember when Fat Albert was on the platinum FUBU. FUBU was like the thing to wear at the time. He like, "Yo, what size is that FUBU jacket?" I say, "What size?" And I look at him and I stole on him. And it was so funny because he wasn't looking to do nothing. He just was talking crazy to be talking crazy. And I fired on him. And I just got to that place where when you grow up in the neighborhood, like I done seen women hit other women with keys in their face. I seen a woman get cut in her face. I seen a woman hit a man with her car, and he get up and start screaming and just try to break her windshield. He don't even do nothing to her. He just try to break her windshield. Excuse me, not he do anything. Pardon me. So he tried to break her windshield. I'm like, this nigga's crazy. And then the craziest thing I ever seen was a guy got mad that a girl didn't want to be with him, and he lit her apartment on fire. And I thought, you got to be the corniest dude on the planet to do some stuff like that. I'd rather jump off the Empire State Building before I do something like that. And it's just so crazy with my brother CDK, with my man Boxing Scholar. It's just one of them things where you be like, yo, who does stuff like this? And it be on both ways. Like, what kind of woman are you to beat another woman with keys over a disagreement? I mean, it couldn't have been that bad. Y'all both broke. Y'all both driving Nissan Altimas. Y'all both broke. So it's like, one thing I learned, when you in a poor environment, niggas is so violent. They so combustible because everybody's frustrated. And only thing that kind of breeds is more violence and more destruction. Or it breeds things that's weird, like when you have a woman who's 27 years old with a 15 or 16-year-old boy living with her as her man. And you say, oh, that's not bad. He's 15, he's 16. But if that was your daughter, you would feel different. So that's what I mean when I say, like, it's so many variables in life that you go through and that you see and you just learn, like, yo, cats is living crazy. Well, I'm going to drop the link for my brother Free. And I'm going to just drop the link in general, man. Y'all want to come rock with your boy BBO, man. Come rock with your boy, the original man sent by God. You know, ever since James Brown died, James Brown decided I could be soul brother number one. But I'm telling you, so many times I just seen wild stuff. And you be like, yo, I can't believe niggas live like this. Y'all niggas live like this? I remember I went over my homeboy's house. And we go in the house. He got all the clothes. This is back when like cats was wearing a FUBU. How long ago niggas was wearing Dada back then. So we go there, we chilling. I asked my mom to spend the night at his house. He lives like right across the walkway from me. We both live in the projects. And, you know, we chilling. I'm like, yo, what you got to eat? Let's get a snack or something. Man, we go in there, man. His fridge is empty. Ain't nothing in there but condiments. Mustard, ketchup, hot. So, I mean, I thought to myself, all these condiments, somebody was eating. Where's the food? And, you know, hey, BBO's a big guy at the time. I'm like 13, 14. And I just was shocked that this dude had all these nice clothes, no food. And little stuff like that kind of mess with you because I remember his mom would always be like, don't ask for nothing. And he really wouldn't be eating. And like I used to roast him because he would eat all his school lunch because you know us kids poor, we had lunch tickets, so we had free lunch. And I'd be like, yo, why is this nigga eating everything we get in free lunch, and why is he going crazy if he can't get certain things in breakfast? Because you know we would all go to breakfast. We would all go to breakfast, dog. I ain't gonna lie. When I was growing up, cats would get that peanut butter bar with the jelly and the peanut butter mix. It was like a graham cracker, and that would be breakfast. And then they give you a cold milk, and they'd be like, "Yo, who gives niggas chocolate milk?" And they give you a chocolate milk. But before I go on with some more stories, I'm gonna bring my brother D Free. What you got for me, Free?
And nothing, I hear you up here cooking. I had to come through.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, I hear what you're talking about. And the thing is, you gotta like you when you was talking about you can't please everybody. You only please yourself, your parents, and God. And the thing is, you gotta be comfortable with yourself. If you comfortable with yourself and you are pleased with what you're doing, that's all that really matters. Because even sometimes your parents ain't gonna be pleased with what you're doing. You might not be doing anything wrong, but they expect you to do things a little bit different because of the way they was raised. So as long as you're comfortable with yourself and you're pleased with the work that you put in, if you can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I did a great job today. I'm pleased with how my day went on what I can control. If you're pleased with yourself, that's all that really matters. Because at the end of the day, you the one that got to look at yourself in the mirror. Nobody else is going to be in that mirror with you. Nobody's going to be in that bed with you besides your spouse. And at the same time, your spouse, she's there along to help you along the way. So as long as if you pleased with yourself, that's all that really matters. I mean, I was brought up never to care about what nobody else thinks.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're happy with your results and you did the best that you can do, that's all that
Mm-hmm.
matters. Because you gotta go through this world, and I've always said I want to go through this world with no regrets. If I know I put my best foot forward and it wasn't meant for me to have it, then it's not going to be for me to have. So that's how I
That's dope what
always
you
live.
saying, bro. You know it's funny. My grandmother used to say this all the time. God rest her soul. And that's how I know why we meant to have this conversation, because you didn't know my grandmother. You said something she would say. She said it's a little bit different. Her thing is to be trust the process. She always would say that. It would piss me off when she said that. Or my favorite one would be, if you do your very best, you can live with the results. And you know, let me go back to this story, finish up this story. So I was over there with my homeboy, and when he ain't had no food, I'm like, yo, you can comb your hair in the back of this fridge. This is ridiculous. And I call his mom. I'm like, they got cell phones, you know, nice clothes, and y'all ain't got no food in here. And the part that was so funny, right? So I walk home and go to my house because I just live right around, like right up the little block. You know, if you ever know the projects, it's nothing but a big giant compound. It's like a jail. So my house was the building of row houses up, and his was the one behind me. So you know what I did? When I seen they ain't had no food, I ain't gonna lie, I went to my house. I said, I'm going home. And I remember his mom was so mad that I went home. And it's like, yo, I'm not about to stay here for this. But they had every video game, they had all the clothes, all the shoes they wanted, but they didn't have no food in the house. And you talk about when you in the projects, man, it's so embarrassing because then you got to ride these buses. I don't know how it's any, I can't speak for nowhere else, but in Cleveland, they got these big RCA buses and they got these huge like bay windows. So you can see every broke nigga on there. Like you can see your broke butt, your broke girl, your broke kids all on the bus. And it's like, that's so humiliating to be on that bus. And I remember as a kid, I loved the bus because you know you a little kid, you're like, I'm gonna go on the bus. But when you got to start catching that boy every day, and me, my mom worked downtown, so my mom would have me catch the bus from downtown up to my school, which was about maybe 15 minutes away on a bus ride. And I used to be so mad at that because it's like, yo, why can't I just get a ride home? And what happened to me was as I was going through that stuff, free, I kind of just took it all in, and I would watch shows and get more motivated. I said, well, I'm gonna make sure my kids know how to do this. I'm gonna make sure my kids know how to do that. And I'm gonna say now, my kids now are the first kids in my family to not get free lunch, to not be on Section 8, to not need Title 20, none of that. And it's all cool because I worked hard. My lady worked hard, and that's the part that's really missing a lot in couples and just understanding. You watch these pop the balloons; those are not real encounters. Nobody's gonna walk up and say, "I don't like this dude's shoes, so I don't want to talk to him." You know how many bum dudes I know who work like dogs to take care of their family, that wear the worst shoes because they want their family to have them? It is what it is, man. But what you got for me, free? I don't keep going.
Oh no, no, you speaking facts. I mean, because I see a lot of guys. I work around a lot of guys that's high end individuals, and if you see them in regular street clothes outside of the business scenery, you'll see them. They're in some shoes that they look like they had for about 10 years, but then when you look at their bank account,
Right.
you realize that's all a disguise. They want to look bummy so you don't rob them. A lot of these corporate guys walk around looking like that so you don't want to rob them. That you say, okay, if I rob this dude, he probably ain't got no money on him. But them dudes be having millions in the bank account, and I know some of them personally. And I see
Mm-hmm.
them walking around on the streets, and they be like, "Hey, what's going on, Freeman?" I'm like, "Hey, what's going on with you?" And I'm looking at him. I'm like, "That if people only knew this dude is a multi-millionaire, he looked like he's somebody that was just work that just got out of halfway house. That's how he walk around the streets."
Yeah.
But I wanted to go back to something that you said earlier,
Go
and you
ahead.
was like, you felt like if you was to give to a lot of people that you was going to get blessed by giving and doing that for people, but the real blessing is teaching people, not giving them, because when you teach them, now they have the tools to be able to to bless themselves and bless their family. But when you give it to them, you're handicapping them because you're giving it to them. They still don't know how to go out and get it for themselves. So when you teach them how to go out and get it for themselves, that's where the real blessing comes in, because now you didn't help another family be able to survive in this world. So I've always been the one that say I have no problem showing you how to do it, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of those ones. You can't tell me how to do it. I got to see you do it. I want to see it visually, because I'm
Right.
more of a hands-on type of person. You just telling me, you do this, you do that. I I don't grasp it. I know what you're saying, but it doesn't grasp my attention like that. But when I see it, now I know, okay, you got to put it in this kind of way. You gotta turn the knob this way. You gotta do that. Now I know how to do it myself. That's all I needed to do is see you do it. Once I see you do it one time, I'm good. It's the same thing when it comes to working on my car. When I go to the auto body shop to get my car worked on, I'm always standing inside while they working on it. They were like, "Oh, you don't have to sit there." I was like, "Nah, I like to see when people work on my car so I can see what you're doing, because I want to know how you did it, so I don't have to pay my money for you to do it. I can do it myself." That's how I learned how to change my brake, how to change my alternator, how to change my oil. That's how I never read on how to do it. I've always looked and watched somebody do it so I can learn to do it myself. And that's the real blessing. Yeah, you can give them, that's a blessing for that moment, but the long lasting blessing is teaching them how to do it for themselves. Now that blessing keeps on giving every day
Mm-hmm.
that they on this earth.
And that's a fact, you know. But what happened to me, free, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I got bit with that loving to give bug. And rest in peace to my uncle, man. My uncle used to have something called a bake free. He was a pastor, and he felt, and I always respect this. He felt that God didn't want him to sell anything, so he would have break frees. He would have what they call it I don't know. SCU has a funny word for what he said for free dinners. They wasn't free, But what he would let people do was donate to the cause. And the thing I always thought that was so crazy, and I'm gonna speak to this point, and then I'm gonna bring up what my man Tommy said. I always just love to give. And you know, I grew up hearing that song, "Give and I give it back to you." Pressed down, shaking together, run up over. I just, you know, it just is what it is. So I always love to give. I always love to buy and do that because I didn't have it. And I used to say, when I got my chance, I'm gonna give and bless people. Like one thing I always do is like I carry, you know, money. So like when I run into my friends' kids and stuff, or you know, I run into just a random kid, I'm gonna put money in their hand because when I was a kid free, if a nigga gave me a dub, oh my God. If I had $20 in 97, 98, 2000, that was a lot of money. Now $20 ain't nothing. But back then, it was so much money. So I'll be quick to give a brother a 20 and you get it all back. But
Oh
the
yeah.
reason going back to this, I'm gonna get pass it to you free. The thing about it is when I rode that bus, Thomas Hill, I hear what you're saying, but when you riding that bus, dog, it's humiliating. They keep the lights on the whole time. So they want you, when people park it, when people at the stoplight, they can see your broke tail in their bus. They keep the lights on when it's whether it's 6 in the morning or it's 9:30 at night. Say you tired, they got them super neon lights in there. I haven't been on a bus in years, so I don't know how it is now, but it's just so funny. He said remixes scripts. I see. No, that was a song that they used to sing. Give and I give it back to you. But make a long story short, man, I hated the bus, and it always be that you ever had those people in your life where they in the hood too, but they doing pretty well. Where they got all the shoes, all the food, whatever the case they need. That's the part I always hated. Like when you have those people who doing decent in the hood, and they always want to remind you about how bad you're doing. But go ahead, Free. What you got for me, man?
No. I agree with you, and it's nothing wrong with giving. I'm not saying that was
Oh, I know
wrong
what
or
you said.
anything.
I know what you're
Yeah,
saying, though. I know exactly what
yeah.
you're saying. You're right about it. You
But
got to teach, man.
yeah, but no, I agree with what you said about the bus. I mean, once I was able to get my driver's license and it got a job to get my own car, I said I was never going to ride the bus. And good, luckily enough, I've been fortunate in my life where I never had to ride the bus again.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, it's not, it's nothing wrong with people riding the bus. Some people they chose to use public transportation because they live in the inner city, and it's pointless of having a car. You paying for insurance, you paying a car note when you only going a couple of blocks up the street or you going a mile down the road. It's like, why do I have a car? So I understand why some people ride the public transportation, but for me, I live in the suburbs and I can't do public transportation. For one, I gotta be on somebody else's time frame, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm the type of person when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. If I need to be there on time, I'm trying to get there a half an hour early. I've never been the one to get there right when the things start. Like whenever I go to work, I'm always there 30 minutes before, and they be like, "Damn, why you here so early?" This is how I am. I've always been this way. There's nothing new. Anytime if you invite me to a birthday party and I say I'm coming, you tell me to start at 7 o'clock. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be there somewhere around 6:30, 6:45. That's what time I'm gonna show up. And then, oh no, it don't start till 7. Oh, I know. I'm just here. And you need some help? I'll help you set up everything. That's how I am. And
Mm-hmm.
so I can never do public transportation because I'm too independent. I like being able to go and come as I please. I don't like waiting on anything. Well, like I said, when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. But I mean, this thing about you get into a situation where you at a party, you out somewhere having a good time, and something break out. You taking public transportation, you leave that restaurant, then you got to stand at the bus stop and wait. You got to stand at the bus stop, wait for the bus to come before you can get up out of there. No, I want to get up out of there, get in my car, and roll out. So I'm not. Nah, it just
See,
I
I didn't
can't do
have a
that.
choice. We didn't have a choice at the time. My father's license was suspended. When my father came, whatever, he had got
Yeah,
out of jail. It was the funniest thing. So he had driving privileges, but he couldn't drive at dusk. So and it was the wildest thing in the world. Like to see, to when he came home, we had a car immediately because my dad, I give him my credit, big BBO, that brother's a hustler. He get a car right away, but he got driving privileges, so he can't drive at dusk. And I used to think it sucked so bad, but I'm gonna bring my man Varnell Hill in after this. But I'll tell you what, the funny thing about it is when you're growing up poor, you don't understand why you're so frustrated. But see, when I was young, we used to have to go pick up food stamps, and they would give us food stamp books, and you would have like that money, and they'd be like, "Yo, this nigga's on food stamps." Like it used to be so funny because being on food stamps, everybody broke. But you should see how broke kids laugh at other kids for being broke. But let me bring my man Varnell Hill in. Hold on one second. I want to make sure I play his thing first.
I do it for the children. You can take the children and bounce them on their knees. Bounce them on the knee and then sing a melody. The Varnell man, did you mean he's mine?
Varnell, what you got for us, man?
Man, first things first, man. Shout out to the great brother. If y'all, we call him Sombrero around here. You know what I'm saying? But hey, a lot of people know him as BBO. Shout out to my brother. Happy Father's Day to you, good brother. Shout out to my brother D3, the master debater. Happy Father's Day to you. Oh, happy Father's Day to you as well, man. And everybody in the chat, happy Father's Day, man. I just want to say two points real quick. Y'all lucky. We didn't even have public transportation where I came up at. So there wasn't no taking the bus and none of that. You walked the way you rode your bike and you walked. That's how you got there. The other thing is so interesting because food stamps wasn't no big issue. To everybody that was going to school with us, we all was, you know what I'm saying? We was all dealing with the same thing. So wasn't nobody talking crazy about it because everybody that grew up around me, we were all dealing with the same issues, you know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting to hear the different perspective. But I also got to say, I agree with Free. In today's time, when I moved to Atlanta, only reason I took public transportation going to work is because it took me 30 minutes to get to work on the train when it took me an hour and a half in Atlanta traffic to get to work. That's the only reason. You know what I'm saying?
That's Metro Atlanta for you, baby.
so you figure it out. You know, you play your role. You do how you got to. But I agree. If I'm going anywhere else, and there have been times where I've gone, and it's only when I'm going downtown, those type of things, regardless of the event, going to the Falcons game, those type of things. You taking public transportation, and the reason you're doing it because Free, I know you say you want to get in your car and go, but when everybody leaving, and it's much easier to jump on the train and get back to my car and get on the highway that's 30 miles away from where I'm at, than for me to sit there and try to sit in traffic for 2 hours to go 10 miles. You know what I'm saying? It's just easier. So I see the benefit of both sides of it, but I do agree you got to have some type of autonomy out here. You got to have your freedom. So if you want to get up and move, you can move how you want to. You know what I'm saying? Imagine they get into a shootout they get into I can say a shootout.
A laser fight.
Okay, they get into a laser event at a party or something like that. Now, hey, I don't want to have to run 3 bus stops down just to make sure I ain't in the smoke. I don't want to be living like that. So
I ran 3 bus stops down. I ran about 3 bus stops down.
Yeah, hey, you do what you got to do sometimes. You do what you got to do.
You got somebody. He said, "Man, he got away." No, he didn't. He had the bus stop right there. There you go. I'm trying to go.
Let me say this funny story real quick. Y'all gonna laugh your head off, man, with this. So I was at this party. I was like 15. So I'm talking crazy. So I had been talking crazy in the teen club. Now, I'm not going to say what I say on here because I was using a lot of profanity. I was talking wild. I had just heard DMX's new album, and I was like just going crazy because I always say DMX ruined Cleveland, Ohio. I seen him do it. His music, when it came, it was like just a zap of evil. But make a long story short, I slapped this dude. So I'm thinking I'm cool. I'll get out the party. I'll run out the party. So I'll run to the bus stop and wait. Man, them brothers rolled up on me, man. It was like Planet Apes. All these niggas hopped off this car. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a clown car, man. And the only reason they caught me, I was sitting at the doggone bus stop. And the part that's so funny about it, how in the world I'm gonna slap somebody and then had the nerve to wait at the bus stop? I don't know what I was thinking, Doug. But that's how I go.
You was out of order. You was out of order. That's it. That's the crazy. You was out of order.
You said you was out of order. I definitely was, man. And it's so funny too because you always got that dude or that person in your life who you cool with, but they almost like a frenemy. We used to have this one cat, man, and I used to be, before I got a car, I used to be walking. So dude see us at the mall, we with some chicks, and this dude say, "Man, what's up with y'all niggas walking everywhere?" And I remember to myself, Dub, I wanted to strangle him. Because I'm thinking, why are you saying that with these chicks listening? Like, what are you trying to do? And the part was, he was hyped because he had his mom's car. But he had his mom's car, but he didn't have no girl on his arm. And I remember thinking to myself, like, dudes are hate on you, and they doing better. It's just amazing to me. It amazes me how dudes have had the nerve to be mad at you and they're actually doing better than you. But go ahead, y'all. I had to tell that story. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. Go ahead. I was just gonna say, just cause somebody doing better than you don't mean nothing. That don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? There are people who they can be doing living their best life, but if you got the personality, the charisma, if you know how to talk to people, then that's what they envy. They envy what they can't do. So it ain't just because they doing better don't really mean everybody doing well in their own ways. You know what I'm saying? We all got our own strengths. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can always say, and shout out to my sister Claudette. She used to always say, what you get blessed with is only for you and nobody else. And you need to take advantage of that piece of it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they got blessed with, that's for them and nobody else. They should take advantage of it. It ain't no reason to hate on another brother, man. Ain't no reason for that.
No.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like Dub said, I mean, just because an individual money-wise is doing better than you, don't mean he's happy, because you can have money all you want, but if you ain't happy, you don't have that peace of mind. They're gonna be jealous of a person that's less fortunate, but they happy where they at. They're gonna be jealous of that person because that person has a peace of mind. He's comfortable. He knows, okay, I'm doing my best to survive. I'm happy. I ain't gotta look over my shoulder. I ain't gotta worry about this. I ain't gotta worry about that. So he's going through life happy. But you got this other man that's going through life. He's well off, but he doesn't have a peace of mind. He got 1,001 problems. But so he gotta keep that money so he can continue taking care of those problems. So I mean, it's a double-edged sword, because you a lot of people want the money, but they don't know what comes with having all that money. They don't understand the more money you get, the more problems you get, the bigger those problems become, because you got to pay electric bill for your 2-bedroom apartment. Now you got millions. Now you got to pay electric bill for an 8-bedroom house. You gotta pay that gas bill. You gotta pay that water bill. You gotta pay that property tax. So they don't understand what comes with having more money. They just see, I want more money, and they don't understand. Oh well, he got money. He don't have the same type of problems that I got. No, he got much bigger problems, much bigger.
And you know what's funny? Cleveland is the home of dirty macking. Now I don't know if you guys are familiar with that term. I don't know where it comes from.
Very familiar. Very familiar.
I hear my father say all the time. He used to say, "Man, he dirty macking, man." And I remember this girl I used to like. This clown dude I thought was my friend gonna say,
BBO ain't got no air in his house. You want to go hang out with this dude? He ain't got no air in his house. Now, that sounds crazy because I didn't have no air in my house. But what I was going to do was hang out with the library as long as I could, and then the last minute going to go to my house. But the part that was so funny was like, this dude was just going on and on to this girl. You know, women going to tell you when a guy's talking bad about. I don't know why women do that, but if a guy is telling them something bad about you, they're going to make sure that you know, whether you don't want to hear it or not. And I just always got me like, this cat who was supposed to be my friend, who was doing so much better than us, would say he ain't got no air in the house. I'm like, how corny is that? Why would you tell this girl I ain't got no air in my house? But I don't know, maybe I'm a goofball, but I just didn't understand that, man. What you guys think about that?
Well, that's how people move. Whatever I can say to tear you down, you know what I'm saying? To be up, to put myself in a higher light, especially dealing with female, whatever the situation is. I don't care if it's at the job or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I can do to tear you down, because I can tell that you a tad bit ahead of me. However, whatever the race is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the race, I can tell you a tad bit ahead. So I'm gonna throw this stick out here to trip you. You know what I'm saying? So I can keep running. That's it. That's it. I'm gonna throw the stick out there to trip you and hope that you fall flat on your face, and it allow me to get in first position. That's it. That's all it's about.
Yeah, I mean that's the civilian form of clout chasing. I mean, we're not on that celebrity status, but we civilians. You see somebody that's doing better than you, and you wanna bring the light to yourself. So the way you bring the light is by bringing that other person down, having people look at that other person a little bit negativity, a little bit negative wise. And so you're like, oh, hey, well, he's saying it must be true because he said he was going to move like that, and now he's moving like that. He said he was going to do that, now he's doing that. They don't know that you telling them that's the way he's going to move because that's the only way he can move. They don't understand that. So, I mean, it's just a civilian form of clout chasing.
But the craziest thing, and BB, I know you said you consider this individual a friend. Don't be the one who do it to you more than anybody.
Yeah.
You consider a friend. And the funny thing, I'm of the mindset that it's enough food out here for all of us to eat, right?
For sure.
It's always enough. But I ain't got to take food off nobody's plate, you know what I'm saying, to put food on mine. So I just think that that, like you would call it, dirty macking. That's the short way to nowhere. It's the short way to nowhere. Because if you do it one time, you'll do it again, and watch how you squander the relationships that you have. You're gonna squander them by doing those type of things. So,
you know the funny thing about it, this the part that's gonna make you guys laugh. So we used to have this is back when phones first came out. Like we had the BlackBerry. Remember the BlackBerry? That was, I don't know if that was the smartphone.
Oh, I had a BlackBerry, absolutely.
But I had got the BlackBerry Storm. It was like a touchscreen BlackBerry. So it was the BlackBerry, but it was like a step above because it had a touchscreen at the bottom. But it wasn't that. Anyway, I remember this same individual I'm talking about before I stopped being cool with this cat was like, yeah, BBO got that because he got a job and his grandma put him on her phone bill. And like, I said, bro, do you said this? He was like, no, I didn't say that. And I remember I had recorded it, just like when voice memos first came out. And old girl recorded him saying all this, and this was supposed to be my man. And every time it came to a woman, you know, we call them honeys in Cleveland or yamps, young tramps. So it come to a yamp or come to a young lady, he always was hating. You know what's so funny? He lied, but then when I played him the voice memo back there, he had nothing to say. Ain't that wild? Like,
no, it's not wild.
Oh, you hit him with the Shakur Stevenson.
Hey, look. You see, look, when Woody got up there on the stand in court and he done said all this stuff, and then they asked him the question, he said he don't remember none of it. And they started playing the video back. Well, I was lying. Okay, what you lying on that man's name for? That man in this whole situation. This is how people act. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm laughing about it now, but I put hands on him. I, I was wrong. BBO was wrong. I put hands and feet on him. But the part that was so crazy was he didn't have to do that. It's so many women in Cleveland. It's got to be probably, if it ain't 6-1, 7-1. Like our graduating class, Dub, I went to all boys school. But
you went to all boys school?
Yeah. Amazing. But when you go to St. Ignatius is an all boys school. It's like it's Catholic prep. It's an all boys school. But the part that was so funny was, you know how the school you're supposed to go to in the hood. I remember in the school I was supposed to go in the hood, the school had almost 300 girls graduating and only like 60, 70 boys graduating. That's how many women it is in Cleveland. It's like, if you a clown about a woman in Cleveland, something's wrong with you, because dudes is always either playing for the Rainbow Unit or they in prison. So it's like a huge, there's so many ladies out there.
Hey, look, hey, BBO, look, I'm trying to tell you, I done lived in Atlanta. In Atlanta, they tell you it's 15-1 in Atlanta, and that don't include, and I say this respectfully, the gay population. So it's 15-1, not including them. And so all I'm trying to tell you, and I done seen folk crash out over females like, bro, wait a minute. We just went out the other night and we seen, man, it's plenty of fish in the sea. It's plenty of them. Especially where we at right now. But I done seen them crash out. I done seen it happen.
Hey, salute to my brother B3. You know, he a normal, lazy brother, man, sleep with a watermelon in his arm. He's supposed to be doing the show with me, but he just
can't even hear you, man. You sound like you're underwater, BVO.
Oh, my bad. Y'all hear me now?
Now get closer to your mic or something.
Okay, this better.
Is it me? Is it me, y'all? It might be me.
Yeah, salute to the doghouse. Yeah, shout out to everybody, all my brothers. Definitely, I dozed off right before we were supposed to start, but like BVO, a true American. He'll overwork blacks. Definitely. Know a brother was working all day. You know what I'm saying? He gonna call me late, tell me to clock in again. So I'm here.
hey, get that sleep, bro. Hey, look. I hurt my neck the other day. Well, this was probably about Tuesday. They gave me some painkillers, right? Man, I take them things, boy, I be knocked out. Hey, look, about 2 days, y'all ain't hear from me, because a brother take one. I'm going straight to sleep. and then they tell you, you know what I'm saying, you take 2 a day at the most. Man, I'm like, bro, I had to take off from work. I was asleep so damn.
Hey, salute, we got the chairman in the house. The chairman is in here. What's going on, T-Hill?
Man. Happy Father's Day to y'all, brothers.
Hey, man, happy Father's Day to all you brothers up here who are fathers, man, who wear that crown with honor and in love, dog. Hey, shout out to you in the chat who happen to be fathers too. Hey, I'm just here listening to the stew. That's all, man. I came up because the link was present. Also, for the people who don't know what Dirty Mackin is, man, I put the link in the bio. You can go and check it out for your edification.
You know what's so funny? I thought this clown was like my best friend for years, dog. But whenever it came to an end, he was just going crazy about it. I never understood those dudes who want to get mad about a woman. It's so many women in Cleveland, bro. And this dude would just do that. But I'll tell you this, and this is my father's story talking about this. So this is like years ago. So we had went to the store, man, and my homeboy was talking to this chick. She was like 40. Like, she was one of them pretty chicks who was like...
You said 40? 40?
Yeah, she was like 40. He was like 20. He was like 20, like 19 and 20. So she's like 40. But she's like a loser or whatever, but she real pretty. So her best friend was like our age. So we had went to like the local like store.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So y'all 20, y'all 19, 20, talking to a 40-year-old who got a
No,
best
he
friend.
was talking to a 40-year-old. My homeboy was talking to a 40-year-old.
Him. But
Yeah.
both of y'all 19, 20. She 40, and her best friend is a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
All type of flags are going up right now. I'm just
we all know women
right.
like this. We all know women like this. So I'm like, so I'm just talking like people like our age talk. So I'm like, man, you know, it's not like we like 30. And old girl, because I didn't know she was 40 at the time. She's like, I'm 40. What's wrong with being 40? And I just said, oh, okay. And I sat down. But so anyway, we had went to the spot and we had bought some steaks. So we're gonna make y'all some steaks, blah, blah, blah. And I remember the girl, her friend that I was supposed to hang out with, you know, I'm like trying to talk to her, blah, blah, blah. Talking about I got a boyfriend. I said, oh, you got a boyfriend? Well, I'm about to leave. So so I had rolled my homeboy there, but I was so close to my grandma's house, I said, I'm gonna just walk over there. So I leave, I end up walking to my grandma's house. My homeboy gonna say, you thought you about to walk because you bought a steak? I said, no. She said she got a boyfriend, so she got a boyfriend. What am I here for? It was just like so funny, like that he just wanted to like be mad that I left. But as soon as a woman tells me no, maybe I leave. I don't know how y'all brothers do. I just leave, man. But I could tell you a million stories like that where cats be getting mad when like if a woman says something, I just leave. Ain't no use to argue, no use to going back and forth. Just leave, man. But hold on, what that boy said, glyphs. Okay. But what you guys got, man? We just up here telling
Man,
stories, having
nah,
fun, man.
salute to BVO for that another story. And I just gotta say after last night, shout out to Destiny Black that had pulled up on us. Um, you know, we had a good time last night. It was a great conversation. Uh yeah.
I don't know what she was talking about, but come back to the show. I don't know what she was talking
Shout out to
about.
Destiny, man. Shout out to Destiny. That's my girl right there, man. Hey,
Yeah, I don't know what she was talking about,
she be out of order sometimes. She be out of order, like I always tell her. You be out of order, but at the same time, man, hey, we done talked boxing for a long time, man. We done talked boxing for a real long time.
Yeah. But go ahead, B3. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Nah, man. What's the topic? So what
I
we
was
on?
just telling some stories, man. Just we just talking.
Man, it's Sunday night at the barber shop. Ain't nobody getting their hair cut. Folks don't want to go home to their old lady, so we just up here telling stories. That's what's going on.
Hey, did you hear that joke when Chris Rock said, "Every man when he get off work, gotta take a ride."
Yeah. Oh, hey, look. Hey, you take the ride there. You sit in your parking. You sit in your own driveway, waiting to go. You in there listening to music because you don't want to go in the damn house. I done been there. Ain't lying.
Well, what you got for me, T? I know you got something, man. B3, he's still over there smoking them black and miles. He just waiting.
Hey, my man B3, what's really going on is like while you was over there a little bit tardy for the session, man, my man B3 had to entertain. You know how sometimes you got a show that's supposed to be on, but they don't show up, and the person that's doing the hosting got to go on and entertain the crowd. Well, my man was entertaining the crowd, dog. He was talking about days gone by, dog. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and we was entertained.
Hey, hold on. I want to ask y'all this. And matter of fact, I'm gonna save it because man, I ain't gonna save it. I was gonna save it for tomorrow. We got BVO tomorrow, man. Interviewing with us tomorrow. So y'all look at that. We got Shawa, the great sister. She'll be interviewing on Tuesday. So we got 2 interviews coming in the next 2 days. But I want to ask this question. This being Father's Day, did y'all see Devin Haney tweets? Or did y'all see what he was talking about on Father's Day?
No, what was Devin Haney talking about on Father's Day, dog?
Yeah, I saw it. It was disgusting.
It was out of order, man. Well, and I'm not saying he out of order. I'm saying the situation is out of order.
Oh.
So he was talking about how I thought he was married to the girl or whatever. I guess not. But he not being able to see his daughter but once a month. those type of things, not having enough for Father's Day, trying to keep it out of the public, but now say he ain't got no other choice but to go public with it, talking about the court situation, just the out of orderness of all of it on Father's Day. I just want to hear y'all opinion on the out of orderness
But
with
now
it being on Father's Day.
it kind of makes sense thinking about it now. But he was just walking with the shorty. I can see why he didn't really want to talk to paparazzi because he was probably dealing with, unfortunately, a bad attitude, probably. You know? So he probably
That's funny
didn't
though,
want to
man.
be on camera, having to, unfortunately, divulge into like negativity with his lady or his baby mother. So
But you go do it on the internet.
nah, this is venting. His Father's Day, he's venting to the world. And it's unfortunate that uh he's handicapped by the fact that he's a male. You see what I'm saying? And men, unfortunately, they get when it comes to young children, they get the short end of the stick until that child can make their own decisions.
That ain't always true. And
Well,
only reason I say it ain't always true, I done been through this. And one thing that, and I was being advised, of course, you know what I'm saying, being advised of what to do if things go south. But one of the reasons I always say I end up becoming a single father is because I had records of picking up. You know what I'm saying? Who was doing the pickups with my son? Who was doing the drop-offs? Who was signing the logs on a daily basis? Had testimony from different family members as far as if this was going on, the event was going on, and both of us weren't there. Who my son was with? It was going to be me, of course. Hey, you never know how situations going to work. And once again, I do think that made me be a better father, even that piece of it, but never knew how things would go, how they would end up. The only thing I knew is that you're not gonna stop me from, at worst, we split custody. At worst. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it came down to. Split custody, supposedly according to the courts, but I had but he stayed with me. And so if you put the time and the work and the effort into it, then you can also be and the court system, you know what I'm saying? I can't really say what the court system would have said because it never got that far. Because she was like, you know what, you're right. I get him at this time. This time she wasn't able to do that. That's why he go there for the summers, which I ain't got no problem with. She ain't got no problem with. I give her every holiday that she wants. Why? Because he with me all the time anyways. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to have a relationship with your mother, that type of thing. So, but if you do it the right way, now you can put yourself in position to make a good argument and case for why you should be the main custodial parent. You just got to put the work and effort into it.
So let me ask you this: when you figured out, now this is a personal question, so let me know if I'm prying. But so when you said, "Hey, we're not gonna be together anymore," how did you have enough courage to make sure that you said, "Hey, my son's gonna be with me"? How did you do that?
So I never said that we wouldn't. I was more willing to sleep on the couch and be like, you know what? Until they grown, I'd much rather for them to have, or for him, my son, to have his mother and father with him than anything else. But if this the route you're gonna take, I always said, and shout out to my father, you know what I'm saying. But until college, he wasn't really a father for me, and so I always said that's what I didn't want to be like. And so when I found out I was having a child, man, I put work and effort into it. I put work, and I still do to this day. I put work and effort into my son because he didn't have to be here. You know what I'm saying? So that's my responsibility, and it's my job to fight for him. And it wasn't about Kurt. It wasn't about none of that. It was about the love I had for him, and that you ain't growing up without your dad. It ain't gonna happen. Matter of fact, you're gonna see me every day, and you're gonna get tired of me sometimes. I want you to be tired of me. I want you to be. But I know that my mindset and what I'm trying to instill in you, I'm doing it the right way. So I think that's the one thing that me and his mom always agreed on, as far, cause very logical individual to well, I ain't gonna say very logical. Logical to some degree, but we always had to understand the man, hey, it take a man to raise him. And so regardless of what happened, I'm gonna be here. So you figure if you want to figure that out, that's on you. That's on you. But understand that I'm gonna do everything and then some within my power to make sure if we ever have to go to court, oh, it's a fight. And then the crazy thing is my lawyer at that time is her uncle.
Wow.
And he was like, nah, you in the right, you in the good right now. So I got you. And so it was a little different dynamic for me, I guess. But at the end of the day, you still got to put the time in. You know what I'm saying? I always said I can go back to whatever daycare you want to call up, and when we pull them logs, they're gonna see my name on them logs every time. That's what they're gonna see. They're gonna see. Now you may have been in the car at certain times with me. You may have been, but I was the one making sure. Nah, I got it. When you see the money orders paying, it's gonna have my name on it. I was paying anyway, so it didn't matter. But all I'm saying is I'm making sure that I'm crossing my dotting my I's and crossing my T's. I almost said crossing my I's and dotting my T's. Man, I'm out of order. But I just wanted to make sure that, man, this is the most precious thing in my life. That man done saved my life multiple times, and he don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it ain't something I was willing to give up easily, and I was gonna fight for mine regardless.
And the reason I say that is I had a buddy. I stopped hanging out with him. His daughter had some challenges, and
hold on, you said she had what? She had what?
Some challenges. She had some issues.
Hold on, she had what?
Can you hear me?
Can y'all hear him? Is it me? It might be me. Can y'all hear him?
I said challenges. Can you hear me now?
Okay. All right, challenges. I got you.
And he wouldn't see her. And it was to the point where he wanted nothing to do with her. And when I found this out, I took a lot of flack for it, but I stopped being friends with him because for me, I can't rock with no dude who don't take care of his own, man. I can't do it. I don't know about y'all cats. I can't rock with no cat who can't take care of their own, man. What do you guys think about that?
One of the greatest things for me, all my friends now that I came up with, you know what I'm saying? Big Cat, he ain't got no children. He got a stepdaughter, and he done. I don't even want to get too far into that, but he got a stepdaughter, and now what? She about to graduate high school next year, and he done took for what since she done been in probably the 4th grade. He done been the man in her life. You know what I'm saying? She look at him as a father. My partner Q, got 2 children now, and a stepdaughter. He done been the main stable, the main man in their life. You know what I'm saying? My partner Troy. I say this respect. I don't know if he probably don't want me to tell this story, but I say y'all don't know him like that. So his son's mom ended up, she ended up on drugs and all this kind of stuff, and ended up killing somebody. And now she in jail. You know what I'm saying? I think she got like 20 years or something crazy. But he done always been there for Prince. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to nephew, man. And he done been there for he just had a newborn, you know what I'm saying? He done been there for his son as well, the newborn as well. So everybody that I came up with, man, I think we all came up around the same time. My cousins, you know what I'm saying? All of them in their children's lives. We all came up around the same time where some of us had fathers, some of us didn't. But we all came and we all had an understanding that, we're going to be the best dads that we can be. And so those were the people that I grew up with, and we all had kind of the same makeup. You know what I'm saying? The same mindset, especially about parenting. And so I just think it's about who you grow up with, who you're around. Do they have a like mindset? You know what I'm saying? Do they think the same way that you do? And the guys that I kept in my circle, you know what I'm saying? We all have a similar mindset as far as being fathers. So I love it. I love what I'm saying from the quote unquote black father today, because And I think the Black Father is making a big resurgence and changing the dynamic of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Changing the entire dynamic of it.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Because one thing I will say, when I was growing up, it wasn't a ton of fathers, man. I have my grandfather and my dad, but you wouldn't see a lot of dads. And then I remember he was a guy, man. I'll never forget this. I was like in second or third grade, and this girl, her dad came in, and he was young at the time because we in second grade, so just he probably was like maybe 25, 26. And he was like, we asked him what he did for work. And I remember he couldn't give us like a straight answer. And before I knew it, he said he hustled for a living. He telling second graders that. And I thought to myself, what does he mean he hustled? I'm thinking maybe he played basketball. Maybe one of them basketball niggas, man, because that's what they say in basketball. I was that little. I thought that he talking about basketball. But it's sad that when you think about it, in the 90s, man, a lot of them dudes, man, they wasn't solid, bro. They wasn't solid. I don't know what that was about, but they wasn't solid.
But the crazy thing is, even I got one of my favorite cousins, man, true hustler. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the true hustler. We done seen, and I say this respectfully, seen the brother on the news throwing drugs at the car riding down the interstate. I'm like, God, what we doing, man? But one thing you won't stop him from doing, and he did his time. He did his time. But one thing you won't stop him from doing is being in his child life.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And he done made a 180. You know what I'm saying? He moving in the entire different direction that he used to. Got his own shop and everything, fix cars. You know what I'm saying? He like the old schools. He gonna put the rims on him. He gonna go to car shows, but he gonna take his son with him everywhere he go. If he get the opportunity, and him and his old lady, they ain't together no more. But any opportunity he get, that's what he gonna do. And so I just think, and once again, he grew up with his dad, and I looked at his dad as kind of like my dad at times. You know what I'm saying? My other cousin, I looked at his dad as my dad too. I called both of them. I called both of them for Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that I think that it has been a resurgence in black fatherhood, and I think we're doing a heck of a job representing what we didn't have, and even with some of us who did have it, even the mistakes that we've made, still coming back and making sure that we in our children's life. I think it's so important. And I think it's a beautiful thing, man. I think it's fantastic that what we're seeing is black folks saying, nah. Men do need to be in their children's lives, and we're going to fight for our children.
Let me say this, and I'm in full agreement with everything you said, Dub. I think to the original question of what Devin Haney is kind of going through and dealing with, like, I think it's unfortunate that, the young brother, he was kind of outcast and picked on for not having children, that which is very demonic. And you got to watch people like that, snakes in the grass type of people. He was doing well. He was, following his dreams, successful, So now he has to kind of deal with an unfortunate situation with having a child with, a lady that he's not going to be with. Is really unfortunate. That he has to, he was kind of smooth sailing and going in a certain direction of being clean cut and no tattoos, things of that nature. Really, modeling his, blueprint after Mayweather in that regard. Um, he just didn't have the baggage that accompanied this type of situation. Unfortunate things that we've seen with Tio dealing with his baby mother situation, getting divorced. And we see other fighters, dealing with the mothers of their children. And it's unfortunate that a lot of times the situations are not favorable. So for a young guy like Devin Haney, 24, 25, now 26 years old, um, to have the baggage of, you know, not being able to see his child, you know, I have to go through that type of stuff that other people got excuses for, right? The other people said, oh, well, this person dealing with divorce, oh, this person wife left him, oh, you know, he can't see his kids, whatever the case may be, or he having kids, whatever. But these guys, you know, are still expected to perform at the top level, even through all the adversity that they go through in their personal lives. So it's just another layer and another reason why you have to tip the cap to these guys that fight at the top level, that are 12-round fighters, you know, that they can kind of go through trials and tribulations in their personal life and still compete at the top level. You know, you got to look at the whole totality and the picture, paint the full picture of what, you know, we looking at and we seeing in, you know, real time.
But that those 12 rounds, and I say it respectfully, those 12 rounds ain't got nothing to do with you being a dad. They ain't got nothing to do with it. And I don't care if you got to bring your child to camp with you. Well, he need to be in the gym working out too then. If he ain't old enough to walk, then put him right there and let him watch. But whatever, and my mindset was always, whatever I got to do, that's what I'm going to do. It ain't got nothing to do with me. And there are times.
Well, Dub, I think you missed my point though. My point is that you're right, but it's the fight. Like, yeah, you would want the dad is gonna already do whatever is in their power to be with their child 9 times out of 10. But now, unfortunately, he has to fight in his personal life to see his child, to have those situations and experiences. He has to pay the mother of his child to see his child, or make sure that she's financially compensated to, you know, allow him to have experiences and be with his child. So that's unfortunate. A lot of in our nowadays in our society, a lot of women, you know, beautiful as they are, you know, they will prioritize money and monetary gains, you know, over personal relationships, over love, over having those connections, building those bonds. So a lot of times the relationships are centered around money, and it's regrettable, and it's really unfortunate that it almost looks like a lot of the young men in our culture are being taken advantage of. So you see him and hear him lash out, like you see Ant Edwards lash out, you know, or Devin Haney, like he did today, kind of lash out. Yeah, man, these guys is kind of. I mean, unfortunately, you know, they not putting themselves in the best of situations, but a lot of times these situations are exacerbated, excuse me, by, you know, greed and hunger.
B3, in your opinion, what's the most important decision a man can make?
That's a very pertaining to what, in life,
Yeah.
but putting God first.
Who you procreate with. You can always, I said the decisions, right? You can choose to put God first. I got that piece of it. Who you
And you said
procreate
most
with,
important decision, the most important, but yeah, but that's definitely high on the list, my brother. You're 100% right with that one.
who you procreate with is one of the most important things one of the most important choices that you can make.
Yeah.
But
And
would you agree that if you put God first, then that will help delineate that choice down some and make it a little bit more feasible for you to come up with a better choice, a better selection?
it may, but I done seen individual who supposedly are some of the most holy, supposedly, that they going through worse situations as far as parental or custodial care than a lot of individuals that I know, and they supposed to be some of the most holiest. So I do think that putting God first is very important. I think that's very important. My thing
Yeah.
is, I see a lot of people who quote unquote, and I'm gonna say quote unquote, who quote unquote put God first and still end up in wild situations as far as the court system go.
I got a story for you too.
Go ahead.
And
What BVO
well,
got?
not in a sense that it's going to be about the courts, but it's funny that you mentioned that. But it's like, we attacked as the children of God are attacked on a regular basis. And a lot of times when you out of order, that's when the enemy seeps in. So peep this, right? I got a friend, well, let me how to put this. I got a friend that's dealing with another childhood friend, right? We all live in the same, well, we all from the same area. So both of them already have kids. We grown, right? But based on like who you dealing with, who you got in your circle, they may do something foul. So peep this, right? So this friend of mine kind of like, is really popular, really, really popping, right? Now she allows herself, like, she's single, whatever. She allows herself to, date and be free. Daughter, God, all this other thing, you know what I'm saying? Do right in the community, all this other stuff. So, but because she's open to dealing with new people, relationships and things like that, seeking and yearning for, of course, male bond, because people are attracted to one another, and those things. Some people need that affection. Some people yearn for it. So, one a guy of he kind of seeped in and found in a moment where the my friend essentially was unattended. He found a crevice to get in get in where he fit in, right? So with that being said, the first time they go out of town together, they get drunk, they fornicate, and she gets pregnant. The first time they hang out or out of town together, they drink, have a good time. They end up sleeping together. And he shoots the club up and gets her pregnant. Now, she wasn't expecting to uh, build a family. She was only expecting to have a good time or whatever the case may be. But now she didn't want to have a divorce. So now she's in a whole new relationship. They're dating now, so um one person's decision, because I'm saying, I understand, and she was telling, that my friend was telling me, oh, she didn't think it was that type of night, to be getting pregnant and all of that. She didn't remember it being all of that. So the fact that she got pregnant, is that I just want to look at it like this, right, from this perspective. And we was talking about just putting God first, right? Now, as a child of God, you out of order 100%, you know, having sex with a guy off, out of will, not married, period, right? Okay, so we can get that out the way. But then the individuals that you're dealing with, the type of person that you're dealing with, are you dealing with somebody of the same fruit? Or, are you dealing with somebody that was raised the same way, that has the same God fearing within them? So you have to monitor those type of things. So the fact that she was dealing with somebody that didn't operate under God's principles, she put herself in a situation where this dude literally and got her pregnant. Now, whether that was his intent, was to kind of get her, and because God, people do trap people in situations in life. People are lonely, People get an opportunity to feel like they hit the lottery, so they want to take full advantage. So I know I was long winded. I'm gonna bring it home with this, right? You you know them by their fruit. You got to really monitor people and watch what they're producing in their own lives to see if they even qualify to go there with you, to go to that next level with you. So a lot of times that to be fully transparent, me, when I found out, because I wasn't on social media, I found out, Devin was dating a young lady, and with all due respect, she really didn't qualify um, at that, outside of her beauty, you know, to be with, somebody that's at that level. Respectfully, uh, you know, I would really much rather prefer these guys, take go to some college campuses, meet some real women, some real people out here that's really not, not just living on social media or looking for a come up, that's really have goals and their own aspirations, and build with those type of people, like-minded people, driven people, um, and watch out for these snakes.
The qualifications for today's man, and this is why I think you need your father in your life. The qualifications are totally different than what I came up under. As long as you find you got a big booty, hey, you might meet the criteria for some of these people. Forget the character. As long as you look a certain way, you might your arm candy. You might meet the criteria. Especially a lot of these young brothers who got money. You know what I'm saying? So this is the same. I don't want to get into all that. All I'm trying to tell you is there's a reason that you do have your father there, and a lot of times your father is the one. If you don't have that discernment that you need, then you have an individual who should have the discernment to guide you accordingly. That's the question I have
No,
about this
that's
situation.
real. Let me ask you this, and that's the thing, Dub, and I'm gonna ask you this. You, God willing, or you hope that you teach your child, right? You give them the right tools to make their own great or their own decisions at a certain point, right?
Absolutely.
But so with the whole bringing it home with Devin and Bill, are you giving Bill culpability in this choice, in this decision, or because Devin's a grown man, so he has the right to make his own decision. So is Bill absolved because Devin is a grown man at this point?
I think Devin was raised the right way. Um, I think Devin has. I don't know exactly how he was raised, so I can't get too specific into it. But at the end of the day, at the final say so come down on Devin. It don't come down on Bill. But I will say that I would hope that I have my son's ear to the point that uh, you understand you don't go shoot the club up until you know. Matter of fact, you really want to be married before you do any of these type of things. That's really where you want to be. And if you do something different, be prepared for the consequences. Be prepared for them. Make sure you're doing the right thing if that's the situation that's going to be out there. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's twofold. I think it's more on Devin than Bill, but I do think that and I'm gonna say it this way. I say it this way. If my son does it, I feel like if my son does it the exact same way Devin did it, right? And I'm not talking about boxing. I'm talking about this baby situation. If it happens the exact same way, I would feel like I failed him.
I'm with you, Doug. I don't know if you cut out or whatever. I'm in full agreement.
No, I'm still here. I'm just telling
Yeah,
you.
nah, you had to let
I'm
that
here
sit
too.
for a
I'm just
second.
listening.
You had to let that one sit. I'm in full agreement. I would feel like as a father, I kind of feel because my dad, he really tried to coach me with women choices. Like when I was living with him. You know, he was really trying to help me. He always really wanted to see the women that I was dealing with, the young ladies. So you know, I appreciated him for that. You know, I didn't always like his commentary, and you know, well, not commentary with them. He was always respectful, you know, gentleman, you know, charming. But I'm talking about with me behind the scenes. You know, he'll give it to me real and
That's cool.
raw. You know, and you know that's what your pops is supposed to do, even though you don't like it. You know.
One of the reasons I talk to my son now, he done got to the age where he interested in women, you know, or these young ladies that he's dealing with. You know what I'm saying? The man ain't he about to be in the 5th grade, still dealing. That's when we started. We started around that time. And I don't think it's gonna be nothing serious no time soon. But high school wise, once he probably get to high school, nah, you talking to him, you need to be willing to bring them through. Matter of fact, we'll set it up. We'll all go out there. Bring their parents too. Let me meet their parents. You know what I'm saying? One thing people hated. I remember listening. I can't remember what I was listening to, but they were talking about arranged marriages, and I was like, that was some of the best stuff that was going on. And the reason being is because you had the parents vetting. You know what I'm saying? They were vetting the children. They were vetting the other parents. You had vetting going on. Now it's kind of the wild, wild west. It's open and free. That's why I tell my son who you talking to? Nope. All right. You want to go to their call? Hey, I need to meet their parents. And my son said something to me. He said it was probably in February or something. Had a birthday party or whatever with one of the kids around the neighborhood, and they just moved around here. And I was like, man, until I meet their parents, you can't go. I got to meet their parents first.
And
Daddy,
and
everybody ain't
just
got
so
to.
the audience knows, when we say meet your parents, preferably we want to meet your mama.
Nah, I want to. Hey, if you got your dad there, I want to meet him, your mom. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I want to meet your parents. I want to see what your how you kind of and I'm gonna do it from the outside perspective, of course. But I want to see how what your folks is like. When they used to have arranged marriages, the great thing is that parents understood, okay, my daughter gonna be with your son, so that means we're gonna have a relationship anyways. But I want to make sure that your son is good enough for my daughter, and vice versa from the son's parents, that your daughter is good enough for my son. I want to make sure that they have similar values. I want to make sure they've been raised the same way. I want to make sure that they will be able to build together and small things not be a problem for them, and they understand how to work through issues. All of that goes into, you know what I'm saying? And that's back when we had, and when I say we, this is before I was even living. So but this is when you had vetting or arranged marriages, all those type of things. I don't think you can tell nobody who they should marry. I don't believe that. But I also think that as your father, I got your best interest at heart. So when I meet these people, I'm looking at it much differently than you is. You trying to impress them. I ain't worried about impressing them like that. They're gonna get to know me, and then by them knowing who I am, they're gonna know who you are. And then I have the same opportunity to get to know them, saying, okay, well, this is what I'm probably gonna, or what you should probably expect from this young lady right here. That's how I kind of look at it. But I'm old school, you know what I'm saying? I always say I got an old soul, so it ain't always good to be old school, and maybe it won't work out for me the way I think it will. But I'm gonna try my best, you know what I'm saying, to make sure I'm vetting and giving critiques and criterias of what you should be looking for you, what I think you should be looking for in a female, that you may not like it all the way, but I guarantee you'll be much more successful with this than you would doing what you may be looking at, or however that go.
No, I'm in full agreement, man. But yeah, shout out to all the young guys out there that's courting, um, young ladies. Definitely what I was gonna say is to piggyback on that. A lot of times what parents really want and what I would want as a parent would be to know that my child is safe when I'm, allowing them to kind of be around you and your family. With all due respect, you know, you having good grades and being charming is not going to supersede a mother or father's concern with where their daughter is laying her head and who she's around, understanding she's with trustworthy people that's going, look out for their best interest. Vice versa for males and for males and boys and girls. So that's a lot of times, you got to understand as young guys that you got to facilitate um, a place, a comfort, for people to want their children around you, to be, to be at your house. You know what I'm saying? To be around your family, around your aunts, around your uncles, around your grandparents, your parents, your brothers and sisters. So it's a lot to go into it. I think more so than meeting people, the safety of the children, making sure that everything is going to be above board and they don't be overly concerned about who's going to be around their child. That's another big deal. But so just having the right environment, the right people around, making sure that, it's not going to be an environment that has a negative kind of um, impact on the children, or on the relationship or whatever the situation is. Making sure that it's not gonna have like you know an effect where, like, let's say for instance you got a honor roll daughter, but you letting her, hang, be around, you know other children that may be not looking to be scholars. They may not uh be putting their best foot forward in the classroom in school. So, that's they have other priorities. So I think monitoring the other families and people's priorities and how they live and how they conduct themselves, things of that nature, their mannerisms, that will kind of, put you a best foot forward for making sure that people are building right relationships.
And the other thing I always look at, so it's interesting because it's not just relationship wise, just friend groups and things like that, right? Um, it's so interesting because my son he done play soccer, those type of things, getting ready to play football, basketball. Those I'm gonna be at those games, and a lot of times you end up hanging with those people that you play with. You know what I'm saying? You end up hanging with them, and just to get a feel for who they are, even if they don't have their parents there. There's been times soccer wise where I done had to drop kids off. And even when I coached football, I had to drop kids, But at the same time, getting an understanding for who those kids are, how they talk, what they willing to say when y'all back there in the back seat talking. I'm driving y'all wherever we going, just listening. And yeah, oh, I'll be ear hustling. Absolutely. Because I need to know the conversations. I need to see the text messages. If you're out of order, you're out of order. It is what it is. And so just getting the understanding and saying, look, I can't make your decisions for you. There's going to be a day that you're going to be able to do things without me. But today ain't the day. And at this current moment in time, now you ain't dealing with this individual no more. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. I don't. Once I done heard you use the. Once I done heard you say, mother, MF. Once I done heard that out your mouth, man, y'all, man, you in the fourth grade, man. You in the fourth grade. I can only imagine what your parents.
100%. And then I love the fact, even with like what Free was talking about his daughters the other day, and he was like mentioning, like, listen, like, because of his presence and how he's raised his daughters the right way, that, if he disapproves of a guy, it ain't gonna be long before they ain't not in the picture no more. For one, it's the level of respect for their father, but it's also a level of doing things. If the guy's not doing things as an example or as a representation of what they're used to, then they're going to separate from that person. So it's good, it's great to have that role model and that presence in your child life. So that way they have a representation of what the next man should be doing, to kind of build that same type of environment over.
I talk on YouTube on a regular basis, and I learn, hey, we growing now, right? But I learned, man, there's certain individuals I do not need to be conversating with. I don't need to be over there. It's going to be out of order. I know it's going to be out of order. I done seen it. So if I keep doing it and going and continuously rocking with out of order individuals, the only knowledgeable thing somebody who know me seeing me do this is what they're going to say. You might be out of order your damn stuff. And so that's all I'm saying is when I always want my son to watch how I move, and like I always tell him, you're gonna be much better than I am. You know what I'm saying? If you take a little bit from me and then understand that I'm not perfect, you're gonna be better than me. And that's all I want for you. I want you to be better than what I am. As long as you do that, you're gonna be fine. Matter of fact, you're gonna be more than fine. Why? Because me being at the level that I'm at, I'm fine now. But you're gonna be, man, it's gonna be easy work for you.
100%. See here, you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here, man. That's what I was about to say. You gotta expose the children to circumstances and things like that to show the nature of people, so that you can see what they think and how they respond to said natures. Case in point, man, if you want to see how they respond to people being dishonest, you show them, you take them to a spot or to a place. Don't have to be actually in person or in the flesh, but just situations or circumstances that you could actually either read in books, articles, or you could see on TV, and let them see it play out. And then before you know, you go into the totality of finishing it out, you could probe them and say, yo, what you think about this? Like, because this helps broaden their horizons on a moral scope or a moral compass, so to speak, where, this is something I just can't align myself with. And if I see people doing this, I need to I got to refrain from it. I got to separate from it. And I think the more experiences they have, especially with the parent involved, the better they can glean an understanding on which people and what people they should be hanging out with. Likewise, what actions they should and should not be saying, and further into the speech as well too. Case in point, we live in a time where everything's is at the access of their fingertips. And a lot of these people that are moving this way, they're moving a certain way so people can like, comment, and subscribe. There's certain stuff that I just will not like, comment, or subscribe to. You know what I'm saying? I will not even give it the time of day. And it's because of how, I viewed it all the way growing up from a young buck until now. And it's just people that I can't rock with. And I mean, that's all part of the learning curve of life. That's going to be a part of everything. So the case with Devin is like, we have a rash, a very disproportionate rash of women on social medias putting themselves in public sight and public view to gain the attention of high profile athletes. And he fell victim, unfortunately, to one such woman. And, this is a rash that's affecting various sports and industries of sports and entertainment. It's to the point where Deion Sanders had to have one said person come to their school and give them pretty much a breakdown of what they look for, what they target, and how they operate. Unfortunately for him, now you have the crux of a child being brought in, and the dynamic of using the child as a piece to move emotionally, financially, and socially with or against him. And it's kind of hard to question anybody's responses, but we're so quick to vent through social media, and you're saying it to people who gives two flying f's about you, and to some who worship you and will give you like the yes man when you don't need a yes man, and you don't need people coming down on you. So unfortunately, we live in a time and age where we just take to social media to air out dirty laundry. And last I checked, they got a place for dirty laundry, and they got a method in trying to clean it. And it ain't out there in the open air like that where people else can say whatever they got to say to fuel the fire, or to try to douse it out, because ultimately it is a trial of life that you have to go through. You need to go through things sometimes to get a full understanding of people and quote unquote their characteristics. Because one thing you can always count on is some people have similar characteristics. They may go about doing things in a slightly different way, but they have characteristics. Now you got to learn the characteristics so you can know, hey, look, yo, this is someone that I just don't mess with. This is a situation that I can't put myself into. And it's like that for us all. And if we're jaded, sheltered, or coddled, that slows the development. And a lot of times we do that because we want to protect our child. But it's also a good way to, introduce them to the situation without placing them in the situation. And I think that's where we as parents, we as, role models, and we as just authority figures in children's life need to be a little bit more proactive with. Because, an ounce of cure is better than a whole pound of, an ounce of prevention is better than a whole pound of cure. So we got to be able to take preventative measures to have our children understand and delineate between a moral compass and what societal norms are and what they deem is right, so to speak.
Hey, T Hill, let me get in here real quick on this, and I gotta kind of ask you a kind of question because I think it's unfortunate that he has to go through this situation and circumstance. Now,
Absolutely.
I think it was easily avoidable. Now, what Doug said, you heard the point when I was made. He said, uh, 12 rounds ain't got nothing to do with it. Or 36 minutes ain't got nothing to do with it, right? But as we stated and pointed, Tank said that he needed therapy dealing with certain situations that he was going through. So I'm under of the belief that this is a type of a situation that could affect his professionalism, that could affect him in the ring and his performances. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You're talking about the psyche. Everything you do really is predicated mainly on your mind and how it's conditioned to respond to adversity. And the things that we go through in life are often tasked in adversity and how we are to respond. They showed a study on pigs. They put one in a stressful living situation and the other one in a loving situation. One where the pig was always influenced and helped to see circumstances for what they were, and it got accustomed to when things didn't act right or appear right, keep its level of calm. Whereas the other one that was constantly being stressed and constantly being picked and pulled at emotionally, if that can be even applied to animals, but where it forces them to do something other than their norm, and there's a little sting of dissatisfaction. It panicked and it kept going around, so it put them in a pool, and the one that was in a stressful situation kept swirling around in circles, while the other one went one way, and then boom, found the other way out and was out. Never once made no noise, never once panicked. Everything was in cool fluidity, and also constant motion, whereas the other one just swelling around and making squill sounds. So yeah, when you put something that's introducing stress into your life, it affects the way that you have to carry out everything else, especially if you're not versed in compartmentalizing things. Most of us are not. So for him to get up in the ring, he needs to be sound of mind, have nothing in there in the back of his mind peeking or pressing at him. It helps him with his training, with his dedication, with his focus, with his everything. And that's even before you get in the ring. Then there's the spin of like how people take public information and make it now their target. He now has that to add to the fact that there were other things that they took and they made fun of, or that they spoofed, or that they did anything to characterize him in a less than stellar fashion, and he has to deal with that. So it can affect how people view you as a commodity, as something that can be promoted and moved from their standpoint, and then also how people will receive it. So your Q rating gets affected. And then there's
Mr. Chairman, this is the thing. Even going to the example you just gave, right? When and I don't know, I'm from the country. We hunt down here a little bit. When you have hogs, right? You know what I'm saying? Boars. A boar ain't nothing but a pig that done been stressed out, that done been in the wild, had to grow tusk and learn how to defend for themselves. That's all a boar is. If you let pigs go run wild for a couple years, they're gonna develop tusk. But if you keep them in a certain stable, then they're not gonna have them tusks. What's a more dangerous animal to kill, a boar or a pig? A boar by far. But they developed it from that stressful environment that they had to be in, right?
I agree with that statement.
I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is that you learn from
But
both.
we are talking about domesticated.
All I'm saying is you learn.
So, Dub, are you kind of like making the point that it's unfortunate that a lot of us grow up in tough situations, so that builds that hard exterior, or
Because we may miss certain things, and we may lack in certain things. The same board meat ain't gonna be nearly as tender as what the hog gonna be, the pig meat gonna be. It ain't gonna be the same. But
yeah, for sure.
it's because they had to develop in a different way and had to be a different type of animal.
I'm in full agreement with you, Dub. You brought it home.
They had to be in a protected environment.
For these kids, what Dub is saying, I'm gonna bring it back to the relationship point. Make sure the people that you're dealing with in your personal life are cultivated in the right environments. That's gonna be conducive to being with nice, respectable people. Not people that are conniving, that are looking to have ulterior motives and want you for different things other than who you are and who your family is, more so what your family has or what you can assist them with. So you have to be very cognizant of how people grew up and where they were shaped and formed and who shaped and formed them, because a lot of these behaviors where you use people are learned behaviors. It's indoctrinated into the person to conduct themselves that way, to be a user and abuser of people. So it's very important for the when you're young, or when cultivating relationships, that you're cognizant of, like Doug was saying, the foundation of where these people come from, who they come from.
And three, I gotta say this because I'm gonna raise my son a certain way. One thing my great grandmother used to tell, and I remember this being a child, right? My great grandma Big Mom, she used to always tell my mother, well, not always, I ain't gonna say always. I only heard this said, I think I heard this said twice. And this is when my brother brought my stepfather around for the first time, or my mother brought my stepfather around for the first time. You know what? And I remember when we were sitting in the kitchen. I remember exactly what she said. You know what she said? I ain't fattening frogs for snakes. That ain't what we doing over here. We ain't fattening frogs for snakes. And I didn't understand it at that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm laughing. You know what I'm saying? She got my stepdad at that time. She got him on the back foot. That's how big my head is. Then as I got older and I started to remember some of these things that she's saying, when you say I ain't fattening frogs for snakes, it's saying that I'm not raising this individual to be the person that she is for somebody to come and take advantage of her. That's what she's saying, right? And I think that's what we all want.
Or even beyond that, for someone to leap into someone who would take advantage of it. Because that's what frogs do. They leap. They leap aimlessly. They just go in a direction. And she don't go ahead, man. My bad.
I always tell you, Mr. Chairman, you smarter than I am. So you seen a little more out of it than I seen. But all I'm saying is that stood out to me, right? It stood out to me. I'm not fattening frogs for snakes. The same way, the way I'm raising my son, I'm not trying to put him in there with nobody. And I'm trying to make sure that when he's picking and choosing, trying to find the right partner, because it's gonna happen in life. That's how life works. But I want to make sure that he understands you done been raised a certain way, and this is the caliber of person that you should be looking for. You know what I'm saying? Damn how beautiful they are. Damn that. Because the most beautiful one may be the most treacherous. Delilah, and I don't want to go too far biblical. I don't even want to do it. I ain't even going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Hey, I will tell y'all.
BVO, you back from the cliff you fell off of?
No, you a goofball, man.
Hold on, real quick. Y'all pull up Tuesday because we're gonna have this exact same conversation with my sister Shawa. And tomorrow we will have BVO on. I'm out of here, man. BVO I don't know if the man he always says somebody fell down the steps. This man that fell down the steps might have got ran over by a car. We don't know what happened to him. He just disappeared on us. So
what happened was I couldn't find my phone charger, so I said, "Hold on, lay down." And I looked up, and it was 20 minutes that went by. I was like, "Oh man."
Yeah, yo, but before we cruise up out of here, I guess the visual illustration of what I was saying was like, you remember the scene in Boys in the Hood where he was young and he was spending time with his father, and his father would take him out and tell him about stuff and ask him, what he thought and what happens if this happens and things to that nature. He spent that time in there exposing him to situations that happen in life and wanted his opinion on it. And then if it was opinion that wasn't acceptable in his sight, he would offer him a point of contention and have him focus on that. And then once he had focused on that and gave a response to it, he would tell him, hey, look, this is how you should be doing it. This is how you're thinking about it.
That was my brother Morpheus. What's my brother's name? That was Morpheus.
Yeah, it was Morpheus, but he's.
What's his name? I can't call his name.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, Furious. What's his name? Furious on there?
Furious Style.
Man. Shout out to Fishburne, man. That was he played a fantastic role.
But you see, the time that he put in there and the effort that he put in there to exposing him to things later on when situations arose, he was able to make a better decision. Even when he went into the car out of rage and fury, he finally thought on it and said, hey, let me out.
Let me out.
Yeah, let me out. So, and that's all predicated upon the work that his father put in, whereas the other ones did not get that work or put in with them, or did not have that father around, or did not have that parent that was there doing like.
And the crazy thing is I've been in those situations where it just don't feel right to be in this car. It don't feel right.
For sure.
Y'all got it. Oh, bro. No. Y'all got it, bro. Y'all got it.
Y'all got it.
And well, I can't change what y'all gonna do. Y'all done already talked to me about what's supposed to happen, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And the great thing I always say, my friends, you know what I'm saying, the guys that I grew up with, they had a lot of love and admiration for me, and they would tell me, you ain't even supposed to be here. They knew that. I knew that. But when you tell me that, and then when I see what's about to happen and I don't take part in it, something happens, I'm not a piece of it. You know what I'm saying? My partner Big Kel, one of my best friends today, Big Kel used to always say, "Bro, you see it differently than I see it." But I'm glad, man. I'm right. I'm glad you pulled me out. Bro, you ain't going with them like I ain't going with it. I know your mama. I talked to your mama on a day. I know your mama. Your mama know my grandparents. Your mama know my mama. Nah, we ain't doing it like that. That ain't how we move. And
So
Big Kel, man, we still talk to this day. And one of the things, matter of fact, we ain't talked to each other probably for about 4 years. And then when we did, he was like, bro, I don't know if you remember this as a child. Man, I know Big Mom. I know you grew up a Jehovah's Witness, this, that, whatever. Man, I appreciate some of the stuff that you pulled me out of. And I was thinking to myself, I wasn't really trying to pull you out of it. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was scared. And then the second thing is I had a bad feeling about it, and I ain't think you should be a part of it either, because you my brother. You know what I'm saying? I love you. And he doing fantastic right now. All I'm saying is you need that sometimes in life where, yeah, I had no problem saying there was a point in time that I was the scared guy. Absolutely. And the reason I was scared is because that's not how I grew up. This ain't what I do. This ain't how I live. This is something totally foreign to me. And for y'all to try to put me into it, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a part of it. I seen my cousin. I was dropping my son off with his mom for the summer. End up stopping at a Subway. It's about 9 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Crawford County, Georgia. Nobody don't know what Crawford County, Georgia is. I know what it's at. My cousin, he from Crawford County. End up stopping at the Subway some type of way. My cousin Corey, I ain't seen this man in 8-9 years. You know what I'm saying? We ain't seen each other since we were kids. We beat up. We end up seeing each other. We started chopping it up, this, that, whatever. And I put Corey in a bad situation. I put him in a bad situation. And so when we end up chopping it up, and this happened less than a month ago, probably 3-4 weeks ago, something like that, 2-3 weeks ago. Let me put it that way. And the crazy thing is Corey was like, man, I appreciate a lot of the things that you used to tell me back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it because it kept me out of trouble. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I didn't even expect Corey to say that to me, because Corey, I grew up with all my other cousins, me, Buddy, Antonio, we all grew up in the same city. You know what I'm saying? So we seen each other every weekend. Corey, it was always a pleasure when Corey was able to come through. You know what I'm saying? Because he, and mind you, it ain't that far, 45 minutes away, hour maybe. But he from the country. We from the country now, but his country different from our country. I always tell you the stories of cow tipping and running through the forest and all that. That's when I'm with him. That's when I'm with him. But when we seen each other, he was like, man, I miss you so much, bro. And man, you kept me out of so much trouble I didn't even know I could have got into. And he telling me this, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what I kept you out of. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But he's literally like, man, it was just good being around you, and I miss being around you, bro. I really miss being around you. Man, this is why I stayed. We go do this, that, whatever. And so I'm gonna pull up and we're gonna go fishing. But it's just understanding the way I was raised and the influence I had on some of my family that I didn't even know I had. It wasn't really influence that I thought I had. It was just me being the individual I was raised to be.
Bang. So that goes back to what that initial question of you asked B3. And if you truly put God first, then that means you ascribe to doing everything as unto the Lord. Your upbringing and who you was raised by, and being accountable to that and not wanting to let them down in situations and circumstances pulled you out of some bad experiences because you fell back to your relationship with them and ultimately your accountability towards the ruling or towards the governing that they did with their discipline of you. And that's why, it's very important to have some foundation that's bigger than you, that's greater than you, that you hold to, because like there's gonna be times in life where it's a whirlwind and things seem good, taste good, smell good, feel good, even sound good, but they might not be good for you. And it's in those moments where that good teaching, that good upbringing, that good relationship with those you value most will resound louder than the moment, the desire, the pleasure, or whatever it is that you about to fall into.
Yeah, it's hard to think that way in the moment, though. I tell you that.
Well, especially for you, man, because we know that moment be on you left and right, Playboy.
Hey, man, you talking crazy. You
I'm
got me
just,
reaching for my waist, man. This
I'm
dude
just
talking
putting away.
crazy, man. But I'll say this, man. No matter how it go, man, you really. It's like a coach told me many years ago. He said, "Man, what's this between, a egg and what was it, an egg and a potato? You know what I mean? And when you put it in that hot water, the egg will get hard. When you put that potato in the hot water, it gets soft. So I guess you really can't let your environment determine what kind of person you're going to be. Because I grew up with a bunch of like dudes. I mean, and they was all rude and crude. And I mean, like when I used to go to the YMCA, man, I hated all them niggas at the YMCA, man. It wasn't nothing but people throwing hands, man. It was like, and everybody throwing up signs. And I ain't talking about the peace signs. So it's just one of them things, man. I can honestly say you just can't let your environment control how you are or how things go. I
And,
don't
and,
know.
and
Go
real
ahead.
quick, BV, last point. One thing, we grew up around gangs, or those individuals putting them hand signs. Or we grew up around it,
Yeah.
but it was different because we all knew each other for so long, regardless of who you rock with, who I rock, regardless of that. Man, I knew you before any of that. You know what I'm saying? And it was a level of love and respect, regardless. You know what I mean? And the funniest thing, I end up, and this is just the truth, end up in a gang when I ain't no gang member. I ain't never, only thing I did to be in the gang is get beat up. That's the only thing. That's the only thing ever happened to me. I ain't never committed nothing in furtherance. If there ever is a RICO Act, I don't think it will be. But I never
Yeah.
did anything in furtherance of the gang.
Mm.
What we really did was we rocked with each other and we grew up with each other. And then even the quote unquote opposing gangs, man, I hoop with these niggas every day that I got a chance to. Because these were my people that I came up with the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was different. It was just different.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like me coming up, there wasn't no gangs when I was coming up. Now they we heard of a gang called the Gangster Chronicles, but nobody ever seen any members of the Gangster Chronicles. We just saw the signs that they graffiti on side of buildings, but we never actually seen them. So I never even knew nothing about the Gangster Chronicles. I just saw the little sign. But when I was coming up, it was pretty much you rep your neighborhood that you grew up in. If that was your neighborhood, all of those people were your friends that you grew up with, you went to school with, and you protect your neighborhood. It wasn't no gangs, anything like that. I don't. Most of the people that grew up when I grew up, and the people that I hung around, we all stood on our own principles. It wasn't never I need a gang because sometimes you get caught at the mall. It ain't no calling your gang members. You calling your relatives or a close friend. You ain't calling no gang members. So you had to go for what you know. And if you didn't know how to fight, you learn how to fight real quick because you get caught out there at a mall or at a local carnival or something like that and another neighborhood came around and they was beefing with your neighborhood, you
Yeah.
learn how to fight. But I mean, oh, and another thing I wanted to say, I put in the chat, check the group chat that we got. I just finished the commercial for the NFL fantasy league, so it's in the group chat. I downloaded it where it's MP4, so y'all can upload it to y'all platforms if y'all want to put it on y'all platforms. I just finished it.
Hey,
Okay.
Free, you know what I'm always telling you. Email it to me, Free. Email it, man.
I got you.
Y'all know I'm an email individual. Respect.
Well, besides emailing it too,
The older
BVO, you can pull it up and play it right now. Put that bad boy on a drop.
I mean, BVO probably could pull it up.
BVO have to do
That's what I
that.
was
BVO
saying.
have to do that.
That's what I said. BVO, he could pull it up and play it.
All right,
Put it
let me
on the
see.
drop.
Man, BVO half sleep right now, man. What
Oh
you
yeah,
talking about?
so you go.
BVO half sleep.
Yeah. That bad boy got the fan on right now. A box of ho-hos right next to him.
Hold on, T Hill. You sound like you want your glasses broke, man.
Man,
I understand. You got you. I understand you got you a bottle of OE over there, man, and a
Hey,
thing
I'm
of chicken
sipping it
wings.
slow.
But I get
I'm sipping it slow, and I'm finger looking good with it, baby boy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at it, dog. Every now and again, you got to have a little sustentation, player.
Hey, look. T Hill, shout out to Mr. Chapman, man. Mr. Chapman is the only person. Damn, somebody got Mr. Chapman, the only person. He'll talk bad about you and then be like, I still love you, baby boy. I still love you. I ain't got no problem with you, baby boy. Hey, shout out to Mr. Chapman, man. That's why I got.
I ain't gonna lie. The only person I ever heard. Hey, he the only person I ever heard say baby boy, man. Shout out to my man Mr. Chairman.
Hey, Mr. Chapman, I take it respectfully. Mr. Chapman
Yeah.
said this to me behind the scenes, and I love Mr. Chapman. He always, hey, baby boy, what you got going on? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? There are times if the wrong person said it to you, you be like, man, you out of order, man. But when it comes from
remember
Mr.
when Thomas
Chapman,
Hill said that to me first time.
hey, I know it come from a place of love and
Yeah, I
respect.
mean no disrespect
It
at
comes from a
all.
place of love and respect. That's why I
I
love it. I ain't got
apologize.
no
Brother,
problem. Don't
apologize.
apologize. Don't apologize.
Hold on, let me see if this works. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, what's going on, Sports Talk Network family? Hey, did y'all know the NFL season is right around the corner? And Sports Talk Network has put together 3 ways that you can interact with the NFL football season even more. First way, we got the last man standing pool. Everyone that joins, you will pick a team that you believe that will win. If that team wins, you move on to the next week. If that team lose, you out. The last man standing at the end of the season will get a cash grand prize. The next way, NFL Pick'em. You will get 5 teams that you can pick up. Yes, you can pick 5 teams each week. And at the end of the season, we're going to add up your wins and losses. There will be a first place winner, a second place winner, and a third place winner. And the last way that you can interact, the granddaddy of them all, NFL fantasy football. Everybody believes they know how to manage a team. Well, this is going to be the way to show us that you can manage a team. You'll get an NFL draft, and you can pick the players that you want on your team. And then you play a season. At the end of the season, there will be a Super Bowl. The winner of that Super Bowl will be first place. Second team that played in that Super Bowl will be second place. And
Yeah.
Damn.
That's the rough guff, everybody. We gonna get that fixed. I'm gonna fix that. We're gonna fix that visual.
Your joint came up fuzzy as hell.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that
No,
visual,
that's
man.
how mine look too, Free. That's how
Yeah,
mine
that's
look
how
too.
all of them look. So
Yeah,
we gonna fix that visual, and then
fix the visual.
we gonna re-put that out. But I appreciate my man giving me the template. So I'm gonna send that to Big Drop Dre, and I'm gonna put some audios to there. We're gonna make it look good, man.
The
We're gonna make
audio
it
was
look
on
good.
point. I like the audio.
Yeah, Free did his thing.
Free definitely did his thing. Like he done did this a time or two before, man. So shout
Yeah,
out to
the Puerto Rican man,
D3
he never ceases to amaze me, man.
at all, dog. At all.
You know,
Shout out to my man
the man, a
Good
chef.
right back. Oh yeah, I saw you over there chefing it up.
Yeah, we still waiting on that mambo sauce recipe, man.
Yeah,
I thought we were gonna fry the
yeah.
wings, man.
Yeah, you
And
got
show
the
us the
real
mambo sauce.
mambo sauce.
I was gonna do it this weekend, but I had to get this last minute contract failed, so I didn't do no videos this weekend. But I literally went to the store and bought all of the stuff I needed to buy to do the video, but we had to get this contract filled for this upcoming week, so I ain't had the time to do it. But I get it done.
And we're gonna see it real soon. So keep an
Hey,
eye out for.
hold on, real quick, Free.
Go ahead.
And when you start with it, I'm gonna match your energy. So when you cooking, I'm gonna be cooking too, my brother. And we're gonna see who got the best quote unquote mambo sauce. I don't got no damn mambo sauce. I got the right size sauce now. I do got that.
The right
but
size
I don't know nothing about no damn mumbo jumbo sauce. But
I tell you what, I guarantee you, if you make this mumbo sauce and you make it correctly, I guarantee you'll use mumbo sauce before you use barbecue sauce.
Well, I don't use barbecue sauce anyway, so that's a whole nother story. But we're gonna get to it.
Well, hold on. You don't use barbecue sauce. What the hell you put on your ribs?
And I make a sauce. I have my own personal sauce that I make.
Well, you'll use this mumbo sauce before you use your own personal sauce.
Here we go.
Hey, free. You eat ribs? You eat mama sauce with your ribs, or only chicken?
And I only eat it with my chicken and my fried rice. I don't put it on my ribs.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
I don't even know what's in the mumbo sauce, so I don't know nothing about it. But
I could tell you what goes in it. But
no. Make the video. We want you to make the video. We want to do this professionally.
I'm gonna make the video.
We want to do this professionally against each other, and this ain't nothing. You my brother. We want to do it professionally, so you can put a recipe out. I'll put one out behind you.
Okay.
All right.
The mumbo sauce versus the double sauce.
Huh? You said the mumbo sauce versus the double sauce?
The double sauce.
I don't know what the double sauce is. I don't know nothing about it.
Your sauce.
Double.
Hey, it's the right size sauce, man. It ain't got
right
nothing to do with double.
It's the right size sauce.
Matter of fact, we're gonna keep it short. It's the right sauce. It's the right sauce. That's
the
what
right
it is.
sauce.
The right sauce. It ain't the wrong one. It's the right one. That's it.
Hey, shout out to Dub, because Dub only dude I know that got trolls that'll come up and say their name was Dub wrong side and stuff. So shout out to Dub having trolls and all that.
Oh, he arrived.
I ain't got none of those yet, but shout out, man, to everybody coming through for the barbershop talk, man. We should do this more often, man. Shout out to B3. I know he was up all day hanging out with white women eating chicken wings.
Big sombrero.
Hey, we out here, and we're gonna get my man Mr. Chairman a better mic.
Hold on, real quick, Mr. Chairman. Go on mute, real quick, Mr. Chairman. BVO, real quick. We got, and for those who don't know, I want y'all to understand this. Tomorrow night we got a great interview with BVO. BVO, what can we expect from the interview from you, brother?
We're gonna have some fun, tell you about, you're gonna get to hear the truth, man. The wins, the losses, and I've been blessed, man. I had a lot of fun. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. And then we got Shawa coming on Tuesday. I ain't gonna lie, at BVO, I can be honest with you. I'm excited about your interview. I'm more excited about hers because me and her, we have a difference in opinion as far as religion, those type of things go. But I think she's a brilliant mind, and I can't wait for that interview as well. I can't wait for your interview. So we will be live tomorrow, Tuesday, definitely. We got BVO, you know what I'm saying? The most likable, unlikable or individual, excuse me, that I know. We're going to have Shawa, and then we're going to be back to the boxing talk, you know what I'm saying? They just did a presentation. I got to say this. They just did a presentation. Y'all know I'm a conspiracy theorist by nature. I just seen the first true presentation of what they found under the pyramids of Giza. Shout out to my brother Cash. Just seen a true presentation of it. We're going to be showing that presentation as well. I don't know if we're going to show it or if we're just going to play the sound clips of it because y'all know how YouTube get with me, man. I'm trying to be in order, YouTube. Hey, show love. I'm trying to be in order. So
you guys send them some right side sauce.
But we gonna have a good time this week, man. We're gonna have a really good time.
And shout out to my man T Hill, man. And I just want everybody to know, man. I heard Drake's new album is gonna be coming soon, man. Keep your eyes open, man. And I want to say, man, R.I.P. to Kendrick Lamar, man. Peace.
Peace.
What are we talking about?
On behalf of BVO Boxing TV, we would like to thank our sponsor, Raycon. Don't forget to grab your Raycon Everyday Earbuds, the perfect bass model for premium sound with active noise cancellation, to block out distractions, and transparency mode to keep you aware of your surroundings. They're ideal for your everyday needs. Just visit rayconglobal.com. That's rayconglobal.com and elevate your listening experience.